Two dads in a Chaz, putting trophies on the wall. Two dads in a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads in a Chaz, talking Green Bay Packers football.
We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Mostly gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air conditioner, cause it's bound to get hot.
Two dads in a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads in a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall.
Trophies, y'all.
Two dads in a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome to Two Dads and a Chaz podcast, the Green Bay Packer pod with the dad bod. However, this podcast is not meant for kids as we use foul language and borderline cancel speech. So if you got cheese in your veins, beer on your breath, and Packers in your heart, welcome home, ladies and gents. I am your host, Chaz, aka the Wisco Kid. But now it's time to introduce the dads of Two Dads and a Chaz pod. He has an odd, almost sexual in nature love-hate relationship with Brett Favre. He holds the solo world record for most footballs thrown into a disc golf basket. The legendary bassist of Freddie Griffith and the Sex Circus. Let's hear it for T-Bone.
Thank you. Hold your applause. That's just still wonderful. Thank you for having me. I got beer on my breath and on my computer. Whoops. Anyway, thanks so much for having us out, guys. We love talking Packers with you, and it's going to be a great show. It's always fun when we play the Bears.
This next guy is a sharp-dressed man. He'll give you all his love and all his hugs and kisses too. From LaGrange, Texas, he's bad, he's nationwide. Give it up for Ty.
What, dads, Chaz, Packers fans worldwide. Glad to be here. Hoping for some enlightening conversation into this football team that we all love.
Couldn't have said it better myself, brother. This next dad was born with a stutter. And if he could survive in the sunlight, he'd love swimming with bow-legged women. The porcelain prince himself, Aaron Mayhew.
Chaz, thank you so much. Gentlemen, a pleasure once again to be surrounded by you fine folk. Coming off, for me personally, one of the most exciting games, the most exciting game I've seen this season. And why not play your best football in week 13? Am I right? Because strategically, it's best to dig the largest hole you can find, only to crawl out of it towards mediocrity. Boys, really excited to break this thing down. Let's dig in a little bit, huh?
Absolutely. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest this week. Let's also welcome him. He was raised in Sweet Home Chicago and has never come across an Italian beef sandwich he can't put down. Not to mention a smoking hot wife with the drinking tolerance usually reserved for most Irish dock workers.
Yep.
Let's give it up for our guest and my boss, coincidentally, Eric Bears fan. Eric. Oh, here he comes. Oh! Coming through the
fan, baby. I got the dad bod. I got the bratwurst. I got the beef sandwich. No Bears.
Oh, shit. Look at that entrance, gentlemen. He came in ready to play.
I love his shirt.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Love the 40-year-old reference.
Hey. Hey, that's my era. Thank you to my beautiful wife. Thank you, dear.
We're going to hop right into what happened in that game last Sunday. First and foremost, with initial thoughts that we had leading into who had a big dick day. First and foremost, initial thoughts. Aaron, tell me a little something.
Right out of the gate, so I had three guys last week, Chaz, on offense, I had A-Raj. We'll get to that later. And then on defense, my boy, Anigbare, who I thought had a pretty stellar game yet again. Stats aren't going to show it, but I love where that guy's heading. But on special teams, my big dick day was Keyshawn Nixon. Okay, this man, the first initial kickoff too, bumbled it. And I'm like, okay, he's fucked. He's fucked for the game. He's in his head. It was like a bad one, like whatever it was. From that point on, that guy was on point. Fucking delivered the goods. I'm excited when our special teams is on the fucking field, and that's my big dick day right there.
Ty, tell me a little something. Initial thoughts about last week's game.
I mean, I want to go with the obvious and say Jordan Love really hammered it out there. Showed he was a fighter, showed he was capable. I think, but I like to throw the curves. I'm going to go Justin Hollins because that's where we're at with this team. We're at with this team of looking at the future and we're looking at what's going on next. Justin Hollins showed up to play some mean man football. And if that's the culture of our defense going forward, guys, there's nothing to worry about.
Love it, Ty.
Woo! T-Bone. Initial thoughts, and who had that big dick on that day?
Oh man, it felt like that day all their dicks grew a bit. It felt like all of a sudden we remembered we had a spine and we're good at football. For me, the one person that I felt was consistently the hammer and not the nail was AJ Dillon. That motherfucker was playing football the way a power back should play football, breaking the spirit of a team that couldn't fucking stop him. And that's what I love to see. Big dick player of the day, AJ Dillon.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Absolutely. I, too, was going to say Keyshawn Nixon. I was very, very impressed with his running capabilities. He gave me a little, it reminded me very much of, what's his name, Marvin the Martian doing that. And since everybody apparently is listening to this podcast and they finally started listening and hearing us say maybe change it to anybody, could have been me, could have been Mayhew, could have been Eric Beresford for all I give a fuck. I'm just happy to see somebody returning punts. Here we go. Now we're going to go into our second quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Mayhew, give us some statistical analysis. Give us the breakdown and tell us why.
Look, boys, we always start off on the dark side of things with the Eagles. Obviously, we came up a little bit short this week, but Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 16 to 28, total 153 yards and 2 TDs, total QB of 100.4. Now, I'm not sure how you boys felt, but did you think this guy was a really credible passer of the ball, Tyson? Like, do you think this guy is like elite, top 5 quarterbacks in the league?
It doesn't matter, but yeah, you're right. No, I didn't. I also didn't know that. I thought that was the knock against him. I thought that's why you wouldn't want to draft him, is because he didn't have a big arm and he was just a guy who kind of ran around and is eventually going to get hurt.
I like it. Now, Ty, going down to the running game here, we have one back, 17 attempts for 157 yards, and we have another back, 21 attempts for 143 yards, 2 TDs. Now, if you had to guess which back was which, would you say Miles Sanders or Kenneth Gainwell?
Oh, Miles Sanders for sure.
100%. Not only was I trying to trick you, but I was not accurate in my statement whatsoever. Basically, Jalen Hurts, guys, ran on us for 157 yards on 17 carries. And Miles Sanders had 21 for 143 and 2 TDs. Basically, they could do whatever they wanted to on the ground all day long, which inevitably led to our downfall. We kind of saw that. Because you look at the passing game here, Devontae Smith, he's a fine receiver. 4 receptions, 50 yards. Who gives a shit? A.J. Brown, someone who has eaten teams alive. Only 4 catches, 46 yards, and a TD. Quez Watkins, I don't know who the fuck that is. You kind of work your way down the list here. Look, it's a well-rounded team, this Philly team on offense. I will give them that. You know what I mean? But we're going to touch on the defense a little bit later. I think they go up against a defense that knows how to basically kind of shut down what they're trying to do. And they're not the kind of team that can put up what I think is essential to beat like the top teams in the AFC. Like if you can't throw down 30 on the fucking Chiefs, like you're kind of wasting your time. Anyway, let's skip over to the Packers. Okay. We're going to start with Aaron Rodgers here with a very robust 11 of 16. Completion percentage of 68.8. That's high. 140 yards, 2 TDs. I know what you're thinking. Solid day, but he's got 2 interceptions on top of that. Now, one ricocheted off a motherfucker's helmet. That was, honestly, it was inaccurate and just a bad course of action. And then the second interception, I can't even remember. Anybody?
Triple coverage. He tried. He just thought he'd just throw it.
Oh, that
past
one,
him.
no, guys. That was the one that Tyler Davis he threw completely under the bus and said he ran the wrong route when they asked what happened.
It
on
doesn't
that.
matter. Aaron Rodgers tried to throw that ball past a linebacker, a safety, and a cornerback to get to his receiver, and that's just slop.
And let it be known that it was exactly 5 minutes into the podcast before Ty started shitting all over Aaron Rodgers.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
everybody takes a drink.
Cheers, everybody out there listening.
Oh shit! I don't
Cheers.
have one. Hang on.
Now
I'm gonna go
let's
get
kind
one.
of dive into the running game, because this one for me is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting because I would say, boys, as you would imagine, our time of possession was almost 15 minutes shorter than theirs. We ran the ball efficiently, but I mean at a very low okay, so we go to PFF, which you all know kind of gives us a little bit more rounded perspective of these players' actual actions. You know what I mean? Are they blocking poorly? It's not just about fucking stats. It's about, are you a good football player? Coming in at number 1 on offense, AJ Dion with a 90.1, boys.
Told
That's
y'all.
Highest we've
Told
seen all
y'all.
year on RB.
All he did was run for
Only
20
ran.
yards carry.
He only ran for 64 yards, but he only had 8 fucking attempts, Ty. Like you said. 8-yard average.
And
the man-
back-breaking runs too, just runs that you're like, oh man, do I have to tackle that guy again? And they're like, probably not for another 6 minutes. Thanks for the Packers.
Boys, it only gets better. He basically produced 3 runs of over 10 yards, including a 20-yard touchdown, and he gained 31 of his actual 64 yards after first fucking contact, meaning that the guy is using his fucking body, which we've been talking about all year. It's like, dude, stop thinking and fucking run people over. Make them not want to tackle you, dude. I want that kind of back, you know?
And
The
you know
man
what,
has
though?
the hindquarters of a thoroughbred. He should be running people over.
But there's a huge difference in our run game, and that is that we have an offensive pass weapon. Christian Watson changes every aspect of this team. I'm sorry to bring that up, but what he's doing for our run game and for the entire team by people having to respect this dude that can run the entire length of the field like a fucking freak and outrun everybody, that changes how they have to play us. And now you have the ability to actually have run blocking.
Tyson, you took the words right out of my mouth. Going into receiving here, my man caught 4 balls all day, one of which we knew was one of the most incredible touchdown runs I've seen in a long time. Well, let me get back to that real quickly. 4 catches, 110 yards, average of 21.5, long of 63, and a TD. Next leading fucking receiver was Aaron Jones with 3 catches. Look, not a lot of balls being thrown. Again, just basically time of possession. But can we talk about Christian Watson's touchdown run? I've actually, what seemed like a pretty standard play of hitting a guy in the middle turned into what, for me, it's deceiving speed. I see this guy turn the corner, and these are cornerbacks chasing him, safeties. These guys run 4.4, 4.5, and he is like a gazelle laughing at him as he reaches the end zone.
Dude, he's so fast. I can't even believe it. And also, that was what good timing looks like. I know where Jordan Love's hit him, right in. They hit him right in stride. So that was what happens when he gets an opportunity to be catching the ball at full speed, which I don't think we've seen a lot of. And when you do, it's like, NFL might not know what to do with that. That might be a Randy Moss type player. You know, I wish they'd use him.
Well, we did see the end around with Watson too, where it's the pitch and the guy's gone. He runs that so fast. He's the only guy currently in the NFL who actually turns the corner off a pitch. And he's gone.
I totally agree. I have a buddy that actually played college ball to a high degree, arena ball, and we were going into this draft. We're talking receivers, and he brought up Christian Watson's name. I'm looking at the guy's tape, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. And all he said to me was you cannot teach size and speed. You just can't. And I'm like, okay. So we draft the guy. And I'm like, all right, I get it. Does he understand the route tree? Is he coachable? And these first couple of weeks, injuries just kind of kept continuing to set him back. But now that they've cut this guy fucking loose and he feels comfortable, and more importantly, he's just caught a couple of balls and got confidence. Holy shit. He is a number 1 in the league in the making. I feel real confident about this core going forward.
Lately, Watson's play has reminded me of the season where Devontae Adams couldn't catch. Remember that first season where Devontae Adams, he was hot, he was jumping perfectly, He was sprinting perfectly. He was running curls. He was catching back shoulder passes, or except he wasn't. And it was the most frustrating thing because it's like all Aaron Rodgers does is hit you in the numbers. Next season, Devontae Adams came out and was the best wide receiver in the league. And he made it known. And then he held that title, at least the best wide receiver in the NFC North. But for sure, the best receiver on the Packers. And I feel like Christian Watson has a similar path where he's got to figure out the nuts and bolts, the timing, the thing, but man, is all the tools are in that toolbox. And I'm excited to see what they do with that going forward.
Totally agree, Ty. Totally agree. And I'd love to touch on some of these other people who caught like maybe 2 passes, but we're going to move on a little bit down to the defense, which I think we need to take a big bite out of the pie. Look, we gave up 40 points to a very respectable team. We really did. But the manner in which I thought it personally took place, and also a couple of key individuals who I think take a little bit more blame than they should. I think we need to break down this defense a little bit. Now, Tyson, I want to start with you. And I think everybody in this room is like quickly ready to fire Joe Barry. And every article written on defense right now is taking, that perspective. We don't need any more of that. Let's get a little bit deeper here, Tyson. Now, it was a fun game on Sunday, but on defense, who really kind of let you down this weekend?
Mark Murphy. That's who let me down. We have a systemic issue in our franchise. Guys, it's not just that our defense is bad. Our defense is historically bad. The games that we lose that are the worst losses every year, it always comes down to our defense not being able to get a stop, our defense being terrible, Colin Kaepernick putting up like 300 fucking yards, Mostert running for like 300 yards, like us looking completely inept at defense at critical times when you need defense to be successful. I would say we have the same understanding of what it takes to be a great defensive coach as the Bears understand what it takes to make a quarterback. They don't fucking know. McMahon, I don't know. I guess he was good. There's a lot of bad quarterback decisions that happened and maybe a couple blips. And that's what we're dealing with on our defense. We've got a couple of blips of good years of defense. Otherwise, we've pretty much fucking sucked. So, like, I will say we are an offensive team, and our fans love offense. But we are stabbing in the dark, it seems, on a corporate level in terms of what it takes to be a good defense. Yeah, I don't know, but the defense is more than an issue, guys. It's something we have to admit that we are a bit clueless and desperate often in these hires. And the ones that work are ones that seem so Dom Capers, a so obvious used up dude that we ended up getting a good year or two out of him and then like held on to him for 5 years too long after that. I don't know. It's hard. It's not since Fritz Schirmer have we had a legit defense on this fucking team that had some real backbone.
Aaron was like, yeah, enough of the Joe Barry thing, but I'm not ready to give up the hate on Joe Barry. I think everything Joe Barry did on Sunday was to Joe Barry's detriment.
Of course.
I'm
looking at the wrong guy. He's not good. Everyone established that.
Tyson, I'm looking at obvious run plays in the red zone. They're going to hand it to Miles Sanders on the 18-yard line because they can still get a first down. And Kenny Clark is not on the field. Not on the field. Best nose tackle we have doesn't play red zone.
He's playing
I'm sorry, but as a defensive coordinator, you've let your personnel down. And it is clear he doesn't know how to handle this personnel because it's not the players. It's not the players. That Jair has shown up and Jair's been looking for a dog fight the last 4 weeks. Jair's looking to come out and earn his pay. And to have Joe Barry misuse that player, I really think that criticizing the players is hard on this one because the tools are all there. I see Quay having a nice game yet again. My man, Quay, coming up clutch with fumble recovery and a big ass run back. I see guys. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I see the talent is there, but I just don't see them being utilized.
Ty, I gotta stop you right there. Quay, despite, I mean, that return was fantastic. I think given that he was our most capable inside linebacker to spy Jalen Hurts, tall task for a rookie. Do not get me wrong.
He's a rookie.
Dude, I think again, and like when I talk about Joe Barry, yeah, I'll fire him right now. If I could, I would go in that room. I would fucking do it. Like I'm past that point. But I don't think the defense necessarily was put in horrible positions on short down like distance, and even on like some like the thirds. You know what I mean? Where we were spying him with Quay, and it was missed fucking tackles, dude. All I thought all game was missed fucking tackles, not assignment sound, not playing your gaps. When you do have the opportunity to grab his legs, you just fucking, you know, a guy like Darnell Savage, these guys pretend to like fall in front of tackles is what I feel like. And it's an underlying theme of the Joe Barry defense for me that, dude, these guys don't want to hit. We're not intimidating anybody. Like we are fucking playing this finesse game where we stay 10 yards off the ball, like with these quarterbacks, like the most elite, like we basically drafted the best like athletic talent we could find, and then we're like, let's play them like they're actually not capable. You know what I mean? Like, fine, okay, maybe that's your course of action. But
I just can't stand a defensive scheme where your leading tacklers are your safeties, and that's what we get out of Joe Barry. We get Adrian Amos leading in sacks or leading in tackles. We get Jonathan Ford leading in tackles. It's if those guys are your leading tacklers, you're 8 yards downfield already. And I just can't handle that scheme. That's not a game plan that I want to be playing. I'm done with Joe Barry.
I did want to touch on something that you mentioned and Tyson touched on as well is
I mean, but seriously, that's a great place. We wanted to go there anyway, guys. I mean, obviously we've been trying to bite our tongues a little bit for this podcast. I know I've been trying to stay quiet, waiting just for this moment, but we have to talk about Jordan Love's performance. And I mean, given that there was an eerie, you know, the thumb issue into him getting hit in the ribs and then Aaron going out. Like I remember literally Marco polling with all of you screaming, like, just put the kid in, sit him down. I think we got to take some time and talk about, I mean, it was a short period of time he was out there, but my God, it refreshed my whole season. I felt so great, so passionate about just getting to watch somebody actually play some fucking Packers, chuck it football. Anybody, I'm just going to open this up for a couple of minutes. I want to hear about Jordan Love.
No, and I would, even with or without Jordan Love, like that would, loss or not, that was the best game of the year for me. Like I had not believed that this team could win like that. And when our back was against the wall and we just gave up another touchdown, we just drive down and get another touchdown. You know, like that's awesome, dude. To be able to get 10 points in like 3 minutes, that's old school.
Who'd that look like? Who'd that remind you of?
Oh, like, I don't know, Brett Favre when he was playing great, or like Aaron Rodgers when he was playing great, or like maybe Jordan Love now who could be playing great. So I just think that there's a point here where
Tyson, hold on. What were you seeing? I agree with you. I think the offense is moving the ball in a way that we hadn't seen all year long. What looked different to you? Like what changed against a defense that we've been told is like one of the more premier in the entire league?
Well, first of all, I got to say, all the shit talk on Aaron Rodgers aside, the guy played his fucking dick off that game. That guy was fucking great. He threw the ball the way I like him to throw the ball. It was up high. It was with like fucking energy. It came out quick. It got where it was supposed to go. The guy was playing great football. I was actually like fully in love in believing Aaron Rodgers like wants to play today, and he's having fun and he's fucking smiling and he's competing with a team that's better than him. He's taking shots and I'm like, yeah. And then he gets hurt and I'm like, maybe you'd put him out. And then he keeps playing and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be one of these games. And then he actually went out and I'm like, maybe this is bad.
I mean,
I just think he was better than you'd expect considering everything around it. And it was unfortunate that this was the game. It wasn't like the Brett Favre against the Brett Favre Dallas game, which I looked up. What an interesting year. Aaron, do you remember we went to see the Bears Packers game that year at Lambeau and we lost? And
That
they
was the
lost. You remember
opening
that?
opening game with McCarthy. That was like his first game as a head coach, right?
No. It was 2007. It was Favre's last year. We went with Peterson, and it was a great game, but we lost. And Harris like ripped us apart. You took it pretty rough. I remember the drive home. But anyway, it was that was the only loss I've ever seen at Lambeau, honestly. But that was the year we lost to the Bears twice, and we also went to the NFC Championship and lost to the Giants, and Brett Favre left town. That was the moment that we all changed belief that, like, wait a minute, we don't need to sit here praying that Brett Favre took a Geritol and he can play today, and that he's got the look of a winner in his eyes. We got a guy who can fucking play right here on our team. Everybody felt that in that moment. That moment just fucking happened. We all felt it. Everybody felt it. That they and how about them calling him Jordan with his tongue out? Come on. That's fucking great.
Well, hang on.
Look,
There's
look,
another
I got-
thing.
I
Though.
got
Like
thoughts
there was
on
some,
Jordan
of course, but there was talking about him playing hurt. There was some smart ball on the field and off. I mean, we did 90% running plays for that series. Now, and another thing you got to keep in mind is that there were also 3 major holding calls against the Eagles during that exact series, which would be the last series that Aaron Rodgers plays. That gives us 30 yards just to get us all the way down to the fucking 4-yard line on a 4th down, and then Josh fucking Nijman goes off sides at the 4 and we end up kicking a field goal. So like that was the last series Aaron played. So even though, yes, he looked great, but you have to also keep in mind that they made sloppy ass mistakes.
Well, they also like completely tailored the offense to like Aaron Rodgers' capacity. That was the name of the game. Well, this is what Aaron can and can't do. So this is what we can and can't do, which is the MO of the fucking season, by the way, is that we are sitting here trying to tailor this season to Aaron Rodgers's like unattainable quest to find happiness, which is not possible. And I don't think that we can make this team work for him. But golly, we've been wondering what would happen if we took that variable out and put someone else in, and they were in the same position. The team was executing in that moment. We got our answer. I'm sorry, the moment just happened. Everyone believes in Jordan Love right now and wants to see him. And the franchise is saying, that's not what Aaron wants. Aaron wants to play with broken ribs. So Aaron will play with broken ribs. That's our
That is one perspective. That is one perspective. And it's a very valid one. Ty, I would love to, I'd love to get your perspective.
Well, everybody knows I'm still holding out for Taylor Heineke.
I know.
C fans know. I think Taylor Heineke is the future of the Green Bay Packers, and we got to trade for this guy ASAP. Jordan Love. Jordan Love's got all the worst characteristics of Brett Favre and all the worst characteristics of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God.
His decision making, he's got the gunslinger decision making of a Favre without the joyful play and touchdowns. He's got the I can throw with no feet on the ground of Aaron Rodgers, but I can't step up in the pocket. I think Jordan Love has he's got 3 wheels on a roller skate, and he's just not a 5-tool player. He's not the guy that I want taking the snaps for the Green Bay Packers future. I hate to dump on you like that, but
I have to rebuttal this shit. This is ridiculous, Ty. What you're saying right now.
Hang on. Now let the man talk.
I won't.
no, we should
Can
have
I
traded
say
Aaron
something?
Rodgers for Joe Burrow, but I won't even go into that. It's bygones be bygones.
I'd love to take a bite out of this apple. Just give you my perspective here. Again, I would like to very clearly acknowledge that I think Aaron Rodgers, that was probably the best game that he had played all year. You're telling me you got a broken thumb. You were throwing some fucking dimes, man. You take a shot to the ribs, and I could tell, like, you're fucked up. And it's like, you don't got to prove to me that you're tough. You don't have to do You don't got to do that shit. You know what I mean? But you exit the game, and this guy that has been, man, he has been. Let's talk about Jordan Love for a second here. This guy's just sitting on the sideline, saying all the right things, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, who I know has to be fucking incredibly difficult, giving all of the fucking pressures of like, you need to perform when you're in, and you also need to fucking understand your place. That's a lot like mentality wise. And last year, I remember him coming in that Kansas City game, a full game where he could play. Dude, he seemed so out of sorts. They did basically blitzed him over and over, and he didn't know what to fucking do. He couldn't read defenses. He didn't have good footwork. He was sloppy, and he folded. Now, all of that aside, and no one's been paying any attention to this motherfucker up until the fourth quarter of this last game, and he comes in, and in my opinion, I see him in the huddle, clear, decisive play calling. Go, 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 fine. We go, and every single play that he ran, he looked like he understood the defenses, but there was no bias there where I have a relationship with this receiver or like I prefer this route. He played within the defense Jesus Christ, within the offense is what looked at to me. Great footwork. Fucking immediately let go of the ball because I was like, oh man, the fucking offensive line, can they hold up against this? Doesn't even matter. He was letting go immediately, knew where he wanted to take the ball, and he was completing. Like, you don't need somebody that like can overthink it and like change your play at the line of scrimmage and go with like his gut and like this and that. I'm like, I'm so curious. Had that entire game, had Jordan Love started that game start to finish, played within the offense, I'm so curious.
Yeah,
I'm
we
so
all
curious.
are.
And look,
Absolutely.
I want to make this statement. I want to make this fucking statement. I talked to my brother this weekend. He kind of turned me around a little bit. Like, look, Aaron Rodgers, the situation that we almost ended up getting forced into, I mean, it all makes sense, dude. The guy, back-to-back MVPs. And when it comes to fucking quarterback contracts, you can't go lower. You can't do team-friendly shit. That's not how it works. Everybody's going higher and higher and higher. It's just how it works, right? And think of like the Green Bay Nation, had we let him go in some capacity. Like, what do you do as Brian Gutekunst? You fucking sign the deal. You sign this guy on to what you did. Now, the only problem is we got a little taste of this fucking quarterback that he clearly coveted. My point is that, my God, dude, I love football more now than ever because it's fucking difficult. It's chess. It's fucking complication, and it's like inches in like every goddamn game. Like a ref has a problem of like a catch that like, dude, like slow-mo on camera. I don't even fucking know. I don't know. How is that possible? That like football is the only game that actually breaks things down to the most minute fucking detail and forces you to make a decision. And we are in like the hardest corner I can remember of a football team. Let's not even talk about just like quarterback. All right, like quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. What are you guys gonna do? Are we gonna hold on for like one more year and then we're gonna sign fucking Jordan Love? We're gonna, take up his
It's not our
fifth-year
choice.
option. Devil's advocate, Ty. Does this man not deserve something from us?
I think we're misremembering how welcome Aaron Rodgers was into this organization. I think that was a rough transition. I think Aaron Rodgers, I recall Aaron Rodgers, his first season got booed at Lambeau because we were 4-12. I mean, it was not an easy thing, and it's never going to be an easy thing when it comes to the Packers organization, who's had two quarterbacks since I was a child. Like, it's a rough transition for anybody. And I think Jordan Love has played it just about as well as you can. He's really buddied up to the coaches. He's really been a cerebral locker room guy. He's tried to learn as much from Aaron Rodgers as he can. But I think the leadership that he's intending to give, I don't know if it's been necessarily for the Packers. I think we've extended his rookie contract, and I think he sees future elsewhere. And I just don't want to put too much into this guy. And if he does end up being the next 17-year quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, I'll eat my words, but it's the transition is difficult.
You sure will. And you'll cheer for him the whole time. And I'll
Oh
remind
yeah,
you
well, I'll buy his
the rest of
jerseys.
your life.
Yep. I'll fucking wear nothing but 10 J Love.
All right, so just to bring clarity to the situation, is that you want to shred Aaron Rodgers every 5 minutes on this pod, and that J Lo has no place in the NFL as a NFL starting quarterback.
No, he does have a place in the NFL. He does have a place in the NFL. It is the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans.
So I got to say this, Ty, if your theory is right, then what we want to do is put Jordan Love in so we can get the most film on him to get the highest trade equity. If we don't put Jordan Love,
100%,
and we are shackled to Aaron Rodgers, and he wants this imaginary swan song, which isn't what he wants. What he wants is for us to fucking twist in the wind and wonder, and him be like this mysterious mountain man that you don't know where he goes in the offseason or what he does, but we respect him while we all fucking freak out, and he's just loving it. That is what he wants, so he is definitely not going to make up a decision ever, and he's going to let us just fucking do exactly that because that's what he prefers. But I don't think he wants a swan song. I think he wants to go into the sunset whenever he fucking feels it, and that's the contract we gave him. And now he has all the power in this situation. So Jordan Love's future is essentially on Aaron Rodgers' desire to continue to play football, and
which is good on Jordan. Which is good on Jordan for studying as hard as he has. He's worked on his physique. He's obviously worked on his footwork and speeding up and all the knocks that we've all had on Jordan Love. He's worked on it. He's been running nothing but high steppers through tires because he's got to prove to the Chargers that he is their saving grace.
And that might be where he's at, and that might piss off the team so much that 4/8 of the team, or whatever we decided was the ratio that likes Rodgers. They're all like, man, this fucking sucks. The best quarterback on this team can't get on the field, and it's because this other dick quarterback that only 3 people on the team like, and one of them can't kick, and the other one can't move his left leg.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Tyson with the Mason dagger.
Aaron Rodgers is just like, guys, let's see how much money we can milk off the fucking Packers. I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. I'm lashing out. But regardless, I think Jordan Love did a great job. He did as good as you can do as a guy in that position who's been waiting patiently, who came out there with fucking ice water in his veins and stuck his tongue out like fucking Michael Jordan and tried to make some big fucking plays. That throw he made to fucking that Jones didn't catch
the drop
money. That was one of the coolest fucking throws I've seen all year. And then that one where he's rolling right and fucking guns it across his body and hits his dude in the fucking hands in the end zone. That's a fucking badass throw too. It's a crazy decision, but he made the throw. Dude, I don't know what you saw out of him that didn't make you excited about his play. Everything I saw, except for his ability to run, because he wants to prove he's a fucking throw for his quarterback. Everyone knows he can run. You watch his he's Colin Kaepernick in college. That dude ran. He's fast. That's not what he's showing.
Yeah, he also led the entire NCAA in interceptions.
He had the worst offensive line in all college
football. You said it yourself. You said it yourself. It was a crazy decision, and I can't believe he even tried it. And that right there is Jordan Love in a nutshell. He's got all the worst parts of Brett Favre and all the worst parts of Aaron Rodgers. And I think that he's got a long way to go to proving himself to me before I'm ready to turn my favorite franchise, over to this guy who just it was nuts. He threw with no feet on the ground, across his body, across the field for 45 yards. That kind of sounds like Justin Fields to me, and I don't want a part of it.
Oh, no.
The Bears.
Oh, God.
Well, hang on, guys.
Justin Fields.
Stop it. I've taken. Hang on. I've taken all I could take. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of passion coming. We're going to get to the Bears in just a minute, but before we do, we got to go to our first commercial break.
What the?
Is the man calling your number? Is it time to serve your country? Are you being called for jury duty? Then you need Dismissed. Dismissed is a guaranteed system to get you off that jury in a jiffy. Step 1, don't shower for a whole week whilst eating a steady diet of raw garlic and lutefisk, so that when you show up, you smell like a dead dog's asshole. And if you haven't been dismissed, By step 1, head on down the road to step 2. When asked a question, always respond with a question in a weird voice like this.
Are you of sound mind and capable of being unbiased on this jury?
Do you think I'm pretty? If they still haven't shuffled you off to Buffalo, then try step 3. Simply raise your hand in an annoying manner. Then, when called on, slowly look around the room until you clap eyes with the judge. Wait a few seconds now. Make 2 fists and raise them to your chest. Shake vigorously, followed by immediately shitting yourself. You really can't sell this step enough. Oh, so really go for it. Really go for broke. By following these 3 easy steps, you'll grow from juror to procurer of your weekend in no time. Dismissed. Welcome back to Two Dads and a Chaz podcast. We are so happy that you're all here. If you like what you hear, please tell a friend, share, send it to somebody, whatever. It is time to get into the third quarter. We need to start talking about the battle of the backups. That's right. Packers versus Bears. And we do have a special guest here. We are going to talk to Eric Bears fan right now. Eric, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us why we love the Bears, your history, before we completely tear that shit apart.
Sure. Been a Bears fan my entire life. I've lived in Chicago for 38 years before the planting out of Cook County. I'm in Cook County, Illinois, to Texas. But yeah, I've been a Bears fan all my life. I am a legacy of the Bears simply because my great-grandfather, Mr. Rudolph Bookhouse, actually played with George Halas in the Staley Steamers, the Decatur Staley Steamers. So way back in the day, I'm, like I said, I'm a legacy of Bears.
That's a big deal. I'd like to translate for Packers fans. That's the equivalent of your great-grandfather being an Acme Packers company.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk
Your
about
thoughts
the
on
B
Bears
team
this year so far, Eric, Bears fan.
First and foremost, it's a rebuild year.
Pretty much
We
went
have
the way you thought it would.
Yeah. His first year coach or first year, and I don't know if you even know this, but Eberflus is the son-in-law of McCaskey. So you wonder how he got the job.
Wow, are you shitting me?
I'm
I
not
didn't know
kidding.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't surprise me one fucking bit, actually.
Right. But it's like you wonder why our team sucks. It's like, what the fuck?
I know.
Anyway,
I know exactly why they suck.
enlighten me. Why do we suck?
Oh, let me take a crack at this. It's a top-down
Go
issue,
right
Eric. It's a top-down issue.
Sure.
The owners are not good at the job, and they think that they have a bloodline that is just steeped in success based on no fucking facts. So they're like,
Sure.
we're just going to keep on making terrible decisions from the
Sure.
top down. And it doesn't matter what kind of amazing athletes they draft from the bottom. They're just running them into a buzzsaw of fucking terrible decision after terrible decisions. And sometimes you have so much athletic talent that they actually get a run going and win some games, and they know how to draft defense. But they are incredible at destroying quarterbacks, like just ruining as humans, and they just can't win anymore. But now he's dead.
Mayhew, you had something you wanted to say. What was it, brother?
It's a lot to cover with this group. Like, we kind of dive into things. Like, I mean, do we want to cover the 80s? Like, it was a fucking.
I do have one question for Eric Bears fan.
Did you literally cut me off 10 seconds into my fucking moment? Go ahead, Ty. Yeah, go ahead. It's Ty's moment.
I just have one question for Eric Bears fan. Do you remember when you were 1 year old and the Bears won the Super Bowl?
Huh?
No, but I remember when I was 10 years old and the Bears won the Super Bowl.
All right, that didn't go over as well as a burn. Chaz will fix that next.
No, he won't. But
The fact that you cut off Mayhew for that zinger.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, I'm
It
really
didn't
proud of
quite
it.
land how I thought it would, But
game planning for the Bears
Humans.
as far as like let's talk scouting report then. Let's talk scouting report. Mayhew, I know you got something lined up. I know.
Chase Claypool
Is he hurt? What's
Is
wrong?
out. Is out.
he's
With
out.
what? With what?
Busted ankle.
Busted. Damn, I'm glad we didn't trade for that guy. I really wanted him. I'm glad that
Right.
guy-
So
No, Tyson,
injury
it works the
report.
other way. We send our trash to the Bears. The Bears don't send their
Right.
trash to us.
Oh, sorry, no, busted knee. Busted knee.
Busted.
Limited play. He'll probably play, but he's got a busted up knee. He's not going to be able to cut. So he's got nothing.
Listen.
You know.
Chaz,
Busted up.
Yeah.
Eric, can I chime in here just real quickly here?
Sure. Go right on.
And I know we're talking Chicago right now, but for me, it's this Packer team. Like I've grown up, I've been spoiled my entire life. Back-to-back incredible quarterbacks. All we know is winning.
Agreed.
Eric,
Mhm.
it's just a lot of playoffs and
Up a couple
of
years there in the early 2000s. There.
yeah. We can pick at
The
whatever we
Urlacher
want.
years.
Like a Bears fan would bring up the Mike Sherman years, but yeah, that's
I guess I'm wondering when I'm feeling this low down, like is this what it's like to be a Bears fan? Because despite all of our shortfall, and if you listen to this podcast at all, like we decimate like the defense, the offense, it doesn't even fucking like matter. But then we go to the standings, and yet your team has still somehow lasted in the division, and it's boggling my mind. So I guess as a fan, like what is it like for you going into the year, during the year, out of the year? What's the mentality of like a true, because you're a true fucking Bears fan. The stories you just told, like you're
I mean, look at that wall. Like, right.
yeah,
Like
your family lineage. Like, dude, I got respect for you. But I'm asking as like a true fan, what's it like for you? It's gotta be tough. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tough. To be truthful. Yeah, it is tough. And everything that Tyson, what you said about, our lineage and even talking about, we don't have good leadership at the top, and everybody in Chicago has been calling for McCaskey's to just sell the fucking team, please. Just like you guys are bitching about Aaron, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's the inbreeding of fights, because it's our family. I could talk about my family, but don't come and talk about my family because you're not family. So that's exactly the same thing. So yeah, I've been not happy with the Bears for many years. It's just not been good. We haven't had an offensive threat, dare I say, and Matt Forte. Again, that's, we really haven't had anything. I mean, yeah, you can talk about Whitler, but I mean, who have we had? We had Sexy Rexy, but still, he's 6 foot tall, couldn't see over the freaking Big Cat Williams. It's like, well, how do he can't throw he can't see anything to be able to make the throws. So yeah, it's been very difficult. I will say though that it's always been great to have this rivalry. It really has, because I think through it all, I think I don't even know the record. I haven't even looked at it in a while, but are we still one game up or
No.
something? Or
I thought we're dead
I-
even.
no.
Am I
we're
wrong,
1 or
boys?
2 games
It's
up.
okay.
But it's out of like 300 football games. Which is
Right. So
here's the
Yeah.
thing I have about the Bears. I respect them more than I respect anybody else in the division.
right.
I have no respect for the Lions. They're trash. They're gonna
Agreed.
win the first 8
toe.
games of the year, and then they're gonna lose out, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
gonna waste all those top 10 picks. I have no respect for the Lions. The
Right.
Vikings are good once every 5 years. So
And lose
enjoy
in the
this year,
playoffs.
Vikings, because
lose
you will be losers the next 4 years. Like
Yep.
when it comes to the
Or
Bears,
they're going to lose. They'll lose in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, one of the two. So
yeah, right. Yeah. And I'll have another reason to hate them. But
right.
when it comes to the Bears, the interesting thing is it's a rivalry without animosity. In
Yeah.
that, like, there's always there's a conviviality about it that I've always enjoyed about the Bears rivalry, in that it doesn't have the same. And you can speak to this, Eric, too, as a Bears fan. I hate hate the Vikings. I hate the Lions. And there's nothing worse on earth than losing to the Lions at home. Right.
Oh,
But
tell me that. Yeah. Tell me that.
But I have a certain degree of respect for the Bears because we go back so long. It's like the Vikings are the new boyfriend, but the Bears are that cousin that we grew up with. And I've always enjoyed this rivalry strictly for that aspect of we go so far back.
We go so far back that they actually are the reason we have Vince Lombardi at all. I don't know if you guys know this,
Right.
but I went on my last tour of Green Bay. They were talking about this, that the Chicago Bears are the one that called us and said, you should really check out this Vince Lombardi guy. He's an incredible coach we just didn't hire. And you should consider hiring this guy. And then we proceeded to win the most championships of all time. So, and create the fucking NFL's greatest mecca of all time. And this is my main thing, is that the reason why the Packers, I will always, regardless of our being spoiled by two quarterbacks for a really long time, we are still a one in all of sport. Like, we are the only one of one owned by the people. There is not a rich person at the top to ruin this. We all love it so much that I believe that even if we have a top-down issue, we can replace the top. That's an option for us. That's a committee decision. At a point, the people will rise up and make the decision for what's best for the team. That is not an option for anyone else who has to root for some billionaire dick who owns the team and his agenda. This is why the Packers are the greatest team in all of sports, not just football, all sports.
Like, so when they drafted your QB, like, were you excited about this guy? Like, do you feel like Fields is the man leading you forward? He's just not surrounded. Like, what are your thoughts there?
So here's my pros cons of Justin Fields. Number one, he came from, one of the top tier colleges. Okay. I have an affinity. I'll dip into that. I'm an Ohio State fan as well, mainly because my daughter goes there to Ohio State. So
It must be nice to watch winning football at some point too, right?
Not when they play Michigan, it ain't.
Not when they play Michigan this last week. So I'm still reeling from that. I didn't even watch the Bears game. I didn't even watch highlights because I was still freaking bent from the Ohio State Michigan game. But anyway, that's beside the point.
You're saying he had it easy, right? As a fucking
he had it easy as in college. Here's what I don't like about Justin Fields is this is his expression throughout the entire game.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, there's no fire. There's no I'm taking control of this game. You see some of the control, but you don't see him getting like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or any top tier quarterback going after the line like, block these motherfuckers.
I've seen him look disappointed. I've watched him.
Oh yeah.
He's got It's just not like
but it's no fire. There's no fire to get the team freaking like, no, we're gonna drive this ball down the field. Let's go. It's just been and the thing of it is, case in point, and I think it's bred that way. So I'm answering your question a little bit here, but it's bred that way because if you watch CJ Stroud on Ohio State right now, I'm sorry, I'm going college here. Same thing. No fire, no emotion. I think it's bred in Ohio State there with their quarterback. So that is something that I do not like. For the NFC, as you know, it's smash mouth football. You've got to get in there. You've got to pound this ball down people's throats.
Fortunately for the Packers, he won't be on the field this week. Who will be on the field this week?
It'll be either Trevor Siemian, good luck, or Peterman.
I heard Trevor Siemian hurt himself like walking down the street or something.
During warm up, he hurt his crap or whatever, something.
His pack, right?
Oblique. It's oblique. he still played last week and played like shit, you know. So I mean, I have no hopes for this game. I really don't. Because
Oh my
like I
God!
said,
If we get beat by if we get beat by Peterman, guys, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
That'd be a fun podcast.
Because anyone's possible of making Peterman look like a Hall of Famer, it's the Green Bay Packers defense, and I am sure of it. I think that might be the perfect recipe. They can't find a bad enough quarterback for us to not look good.
You know what I like is how Eric, Bears fan, has already brought up college football twice in this conversation. I like that he's been scouting since week 2 of the NFL season of who's going to be a top 10 pick. I love that. I was wondering, as a Packers fan this season, at what point do I start looking at college and thinking who we might get? Because Packers fans worldwide, tune in.
Who did I bring up that we were gonna draft?
Are gonna be off the chain. You're gonna want to get into every one of our 2D to C draft day specials. But
exactly,
we just found out is that the Bears have been doing this for the last 8 weeks. So we're already behind Packers Nation.
We got to keep moving on to our next segment into the fourth quarter as we get there. First and foremost, thank you, Eric. We're lovely to have you. We're going to give everybody a chance on this one, but we're going to move into a fun segment we like to call What Grinds Your Gears? Mayhew, tell me a little something real quick.
Yeah,
what grinds you? Oh, go.
I apologize, Chaz, for cutting you off there, but a gentleman was in front of me at the fucking sandwich line at Jazzy Mike's. All right, this last week, and all right, boys, it's 2022. Am I right? Where when you're in line to get food, the menu at this point is up there. It's like the biggest goddamn fucking block of letters you could ever imagine. And I just feel like at this point, like you have your go-to sandwich, like any normal person, be like, I walk into an establishment, like here we go, you know? So this guy, and I will say he looked fucking higher than anybody I've seen in a long time. Like lab rat eyes, red to the gills, but like, I'm not here to judge. I just want a sandwich like everybody else. So I'm behind him. We get up there. This motherfucker gets all the way up. We've been been there for 5 minutes. And he looks the guy right in the eye, and then he looks up top, and then he looks back to the guy, and he goes, "Y'all got any ham?" And I really fucking lost it. Ham? Yeah, you know they do. They have a plethora of sliced meat available to you.
Right. Number 7, Mike's Way. And you walk out.
Yeah. Boom. Easy.
Do you all got ham? And I like spit like in laughter behind him. And then I was like, literally like, no, I need to get home to my family. So we move on from him. And that's like my first rant. But number 2, everybody is in the background on the fucking radio was fucking Christmas music. Now I look down at my phone. It's 11:29. It's not even December, folks. And fucking Christmas music is piping through the fucking, I'm done with it. And I know my wife is going to be listening at some point. It's not okay.
Doubtful.
It's not okay to just rock Christmas music all day long when it's not even December. And even in December, I'd like small doses. Tyson, I see you. You know what I'm talking about? And there's little bits and pieces. Boys, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, don't get me wrong. They put on an incredible show. Okay. It's incredible. But fuck, I do not need it day in and day out. Follow me around from like, dude, it's at the gas station. It's at the fucking sandwich shop. It's like, you know, anyway, Chaz, that's what grinds my gears.
Oh, yeah. What grinds Ty's gears?
I walk into a Jimmy John's. I'm high as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm high as hell. I want to know if they got ham. So I say to the guy, I say, do you have any ham?
It was Ty.
I fucking knew it. I didn't want to make a scene. It looked like you, but you didn't have the
He's all like white or wheat, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm high as hell.
I wasn't sure.
I got ham.
Yes, sir. We do have ham.
Oh my God.
Squandered your career. You squandered it.
Oh
It was
my
good,
God,
though.
Ty. That's timing, buddy. That's timing. Do you actually have anything that grinds your gears, or was that actually you?
I was just gonna play off of whatever anybody else had.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna keep rolling down the line. Tyson, tell me about something that grinds your gears.
Well, there are so many things that tend to grind my gears, but I'm going back to a traffic-related scenario. Because you're in the car, okay? Say it's the belt line. There's some traffic. It's going slow. And some old white son of a bitch in a pickup truck always seems like is just gonna sit there and be like, it's slow. I'm going idle speed. And there's this massive gap between them and the next car in front, and you're stuck in this huge line behind. You're like, man, it's so slow in the left lane. Why is it like that? And then you get up and you realize there's some guy who's determined, oh, there's traffic. I'm done using the accelerator. Hey, what's the point? There's traffic. And you are creating the fucking problem by not going with the flow of traffic. You are making everything worse.
So I'm high as hell eating Jimmy John's sub in my pickup truck. And all I'm trying to do is not crash into the guy in front of me. I got some asshole in a Jeep fucking being like, why don't you just fucking take the 30 feet? And I'm like, because I'm high as hell eating my ham sandwich, dude. Why you gotta fucking ride my ass? I'm just trying to fucking go at my own pace. God, you try to explain to a police officer on the belt line that you crashed into a dump truck. You were enjoying your ham and pickle sandwich. Enjoying my ham and pickle sandwich, not crashing into dump trucks.
I just love the idea of you getting into like a full-on car wreck with the guy flipping you off while you're eating your ham skinny.
Totally worth it too. Totally worth it.
I got to keep going here. All right. Eric Bearsfin, what grinds your gears?
Sticking with the restaurant option there, on the weekend, the wife and I like to go out for breakfast, so we go out to, I don't know, whatever, down here at the gyms. You guys might know it as like a Denny's up there, but gyms down here, you go to a breakfast place. What I don't understand is, how is it that somebody can eat half of their breakfast of scrambled eggs and pancakes and sausage and stuff like that, and then ask for a to-go box to take their eggs home? Are you going to heat those up? Are you really going to heat up scrambled eggs?
Well,
no, nobody does that. Nobody does that.
It's funny you should ask, because Ty has a funny story about that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been a fun segment of What Grinds My Gears. You're gonna have 30 seconds across the board. And so here's what I want to know. Ty, who is gonna have a big dick day against the Bears?
Justin Hollins. He's coming up. He's got nothing to lose. This is exactly the kind of football player we want, guys. It's the guy I've been praying for all season. It's the guy who has absolutely everything on the line. And this guy's going to come up with 3 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss. He's going to force a fumble. He's going to be a wrecking ball. And you watch. He's got a career ahead of him. He's just got to make it happen, and he's got to make it happen this Sunday.
Tyson, who's going to have a big dick day?
Man, he's going to strong arm his way onto the field for some kind of personal vendetta. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a big dick day with 3.5 functioning ribs, at least 7 fingers that aren't broken. And he's going to go out there full of Toradol, and he's going to win back your hearts, America. And everyone is going to say, Aaron Rodgers, get him in the Hall of Fame.
Mayhew, who's gonna have a big day?
For me, I think we take the lessons we learned from this Philly game about a very mobile quarterback, and we apply them to this game. Now, Quay Walker, I know you fucking listen to this pod. God damn it. We believe in you. This pod loves you more than anything. Ty,
Mhm.
Pictures on the fucking wall. Dude, come out, make your tackles, get this defense in order, and let's actually I'd love to lose this game and just continue to get a better draft pick. Oh,
Oh my
Oh,
god!
no.
Oh my
It's been
god!
known.
Don't do that.
Who,
That's our job.
Eric?
Don't
Who's
do
gonna
that.
have a big dick day? Who's gonna have a big dick day for the Bears? 30
So
seconds.
For me, this guy's a nice pasty white guy, similar to Aaron here. I'm gonna go with number 16, Mr. Trenton Gill, our punter, is gonna have a great fucking game. That's my big dick.
Remember
Listen,
Eric
hey, now
Bears
hang
fan
out,
when
wait a
the best
fucking
player
second.
on your
Hey,
team
hey,
for-
hey, hey.
No, hold on. I
we
get to
make
actually
fun of
get one.
Aaron's skin tone. You don't get to do that, Bears fan, goddammit. All right? He's our pasty fucking prince. He's your worst fucking nightmare. All right? You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck with this guy. You fucking
Eric,
any
Eric,
idea?
that did cut really
Eric
deep,
Bears fan.
really deep, coming from an outsider. Yeah.
I want to hear
Come here.
about final score. I want to hear final scores across the board
Oh.
from everybody. First and foremost, Aaron Mayhew. I want to hear a final score of this game.
And okay, reality, 24-10 Packers. But I'm not gonna lie, I want us to fucking lose. I want us to lose. Okay,
That's a first.
everybody
we've
out there
got-
listening, all 18
we've
of
got-
our viewers know where I'm sitting. Is that this
Mhm.
team? It's not a matter of getting to the playoffs, trickling in, and fucking losing in the first round. I don't give a shit. We are a team that needs to lose now. And dude, a couple of top 10 draft picks will turn this franchise around quickly.
I think Eric, the Bears fan, is rubbing off on you.
Todd, let me hear a little bit. What's the good final score going to be?
45-0.
Oh shit!
Bears see our side of the field once, maybe twice, and they still have to try for the coffin corner. I think that we hose the worst team in the league easily, whether it's the starting quarterback, the backup quarterback. We make Aaron Jones play quarterback. It doesn't matter. We're going to hose them 45-0.
All right. T-Bone, tell me.
The disrespect is thick, Ty. That's a thick layer of disrespect that's fucking just fire.
Might have just lost me my job.
Yeah, I'll finish that. No, the Packers, I think, are actually gonna break Aaron's heart, and the three people that are have left the pod now that Aaron's rooting for us to lose. I think
Sorry, we
that,
got 18 million viewers.
yeah, I know we got about 15 now, but the Packers, I think, are gonna win 38-27, and the Aaron Rodgers equivalency of the bloody sock game, where he's gonna grimace and show his toughness and go out there and suffer for this team and justify potentially retiring at the end of the year. But he's gonna want to look tough the whole route. So he's gonna want to play the rest of the year. So he's gonna go out there. He's gonna nut out another win, because at the end of the day, he wants his legacy to still be, "You're my bitch. You've always been my bitch, Chicago." And that's kind of might be all he has left this year.
Yeah, and Tyson, you kind of made me your scapegoat. Okay, both you and Ty fucking are ripping our quarterbacks apart, but I tried to give some reality to the situation, and you guys are like, "Whoa, dude, you got way too dark." That's fucking outlandish. My God, that's outlandish.
This guy's rooting for us to fail.
I
I
love
got-
it, Aaron. I love it, Aaron.
Eric,
Welcome
do
to the
not do
Bears.
My corner. Can we mute this man fast enough? What the fuck? Is
Welcome to the Bears. Go ahead.
My score prediction is actually not far off from Aaron's, except for one factor I don't think everybody's keeping in mind. Mine is going to be 20-10. Not going to be a huge scoring game, but 20, because I think that our kicker, Mr. Mason Crosby, is going to miss at least one field goal in that game, because it seems to be on par with his performance.
So-
Eric Bearsfin.
You over.
So here's the I don't know if I can do what is that called in golf when you hit a provisional. If Justin Fields plays, because he had limited practice, if he plays, Bears win 46-10.
Oh.
Shit.
He puts up 46 on us. I wouldn't be surprised though if he puts up over 100 yards rushing on this defense.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
He'll
but
have-
if he
he'll
doesn't,
have-
but
We don't
He'll
know what
have
to
3
do.
rushing. If he plays, he'll have 3 rushing touchdowns, two passing touchdowns, easily.
okay.
Easily.
And if he
you guys
doesn't
talk,
play,
you talked about if he doesn't play. If he doesn't play, I had 27-9 Packers.
Let me ask you this:
Which-
if Jordan Love
What's that?
plays versus Aaron Rodgers, what do you think the score is? Because my
Same.
number would change.
Same.
Okay. So I've got with Fields 3 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns for 46-10. Without Fields,
Yeah.
a 27-9.
Loss. Yeah.
God damn. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we lock this up? Anything anybody wants to say to each other? Any final words to sweethearts? Obviously, everybody should follow Two Dads and a Chaz podcast. I want to give a special thanks to Ty, T-Bone, Mayhew, of course, Eric Bearsman, my boss. And by the way,
Chaz, you come to Wisconsin, we can get you Packers tickets for like $8.
I
Yeah,
know, but I
that's how
got
good
my
they
Pretty
are.
dad.
awesome right now. It's
I
pretty
got my
awesome.
dad box seats. I got my dad box seats for $200. It was great.
Yeah. Best thing about the Packers being this way this year is that, hey, Packers fans, just drive to Lambeau. Someone will trade you a Packers ticket for $3 and a cigarette. Meanwhile, Bears fans have been shelling out $800 to
Yeah.
watch a 2-12 team.
Hold on. I went to the what was it? The Miami game or whatever. We had a second row seat. We got at the 30-yard line, second row seat, $200 a ticket.
$84 a minute in parking. But that's
No, we didn't park. We didn't park. We just stayed downtown because it's cheaper. But we did have a limo driver, Uber, who literally on Lakeshore Drive, because everybody was stacked up, you know, your driving thing there, Tyson, you were talking about. He literally did a U-turn on Lakeshore Drive, put the thing in reverse on the other side and drove it backwards all the way up to the city while everybody stopped. It was freaking awesome.
Eric, I
Sir.
just wanted to say thank you. I think you've been one of
Appreciate
like,
it.
our more impressive guests, honestly, and
Thanks.
took
Wow,
the
my
banter
dad was
well.
on here.
God, and all the other guests.
It's the hair.
Threw down. I'm also going to mute you right now because we're going to move on to more serious situation to close out this episode. You comfortable with that?
Unfortunately.
Good.
No, boys. I like us four. I want to know where everybody's head's at right now. I'm going to give you an ABC scenario.
Okay.
Okay. Because we are in it. We are in it right now. Like we're living it. Like Brian Gutekunst like probably like falls asleep thinking about this. Scenario number 1, A, is that Aaron Rodgers continues to be our quarterback for the next 3 years. We pay him, doesn't really like matter. You know what I mean? And that we trade away Jordan Love as quickly as possible. Okay, that's scenario number 1.
Okay.
Scenario number 2, we already have to pay Aaron Rodgers as much as possible, or like his contract. It's like, what the fuck? But we pick up Jordan Love's 5th-year option, knowing that, God damn it, he's our future. And we're trying to keep both parties happy, even though we know that neither one of them is fucking excited about it. Jordan Love wants to fucking play. And now that Aaron Rodgers has gotten a glimpse of him playing even decently, I guarantee he's like, you know what? Maybe I should play like 3, maybe in 4 years. I don't know. That's not the guy that's going to fucking follow me. That wasn't how I planned it, Okay. Option number 3, or what I call C, is that we fucking tell A-Raj that I'm sorry, man. We feel pretty good about this guy that we have behind us. We're very willing to give you a bunch of fucking money, but we're moving on. And now option C, 3, whatever you want to call it. I don't think our fucking brass, I don't think the people
4.
at the top have the fucking nuts to do it, but I got to throw it out there for you boys. So now take a moment to marinate, and we're going to start with Chaz on to Ty, and we're going to finish with T-Bone. Chaz, where's your fucking head at?
From right off the bat, I want to go C and or 3, which is say bye to Aaron and pay him out. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that, given that amazing speech that Tyson gave about the way this organization is run, that that'll be what we do, because we take care of the organization first and not the man.
Is that what you want?
I imagine that is what
you want?
I would like to see. I would like to see him gone. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't
Okay,
think they're going to make
continue.
that
Sorry.
move.
Yep.
I think what's going to happen is it's going to end up being B and or /2. We're going to pay Aaron Rodgers and we're going to pick up Jordan Love. That's it.
That's clean cut. I like it. I like it. Ty, my man.
I think we trade Jordan Love for a solid left tackle and a 4th-round draft pick.
All right, we're done with Ty. On to, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think we trade Aaron Rodgers to the Commanders. We get a 7th, 6th,
Jesus Christ.
5th-round pick and Taylor Heineke, and we win the Super Bowl next year.
Tyson, round us out in the only way you know how, which is perfection.
Now, I got to say, you didn't offer option D, where Aaron Rodgers completely turns on this team and snake bites us, demands a trade, blames us for all of his problems, and gets his comeback
Playing for the Patriots.
At a team that can afford him of his choice.
You're right. I
Likely the
did
Commanders,
not offer the worst fucking craziest asshole scenario available. I apologize. Yeah. Let me we'll call that D. We'll call that D.
Yeah.
Continue.
I think that D is more likely than C. I think that it is more likely that would happen than we would cut him, because we have such loyalty to what he's done, what he's meant for this team, where he's at physically right now, and where the upper management feels their responsibility is to his legacy as he sees it. So, like, I don't think that they are going to force him to do anything, even though they did, different people did for Favre. You know, I don't think that we'll see that with Rodgers ever. So I think that what will happen is that he is probably going to retire at the end of this year. I think that that's probably been the plan the whole time. I think that is the reason why our team has played the way it is this year. I think it's the reason why our team has struggled the way it has this year. And I think that he has the option to not go with that plan. But I think he's probably foreshadowed in a number of conversations internally that that's what's happening. So I'm going to play because it's my last year. And I think he'll probably take his sweet ass time, but retire late enough to force us to but we don't want to get a 5th-year option on him. We want to re-sign Jordan Love long-term. We don't want a 5th-year, $20 million option. We want a 6-year, $100 million option that gives us a long time to rebuild this team. I don't want a 5th-year option. I want a 5-year contract.
Tyson, I agree with you, as long as we're not paying another incredibly elite quarterback this substantially the same amount of money. You're going to pay Aaron Rodgers
if he retires,
at the same time as another quarterback that you're signing for 5 years. No one's ever done that before.
If he retires, we do not owe him the guaranteed money. He doesn't get the money unless he is playing or hurt. He doesn't get to retire and then get the money. So, that's the way we get the out. And also, he got all of his guaranteed money all up front in 2 payments this year. That certainly signals that he, all the signing bonus money for the entire deal, he got paid up front in 2 chunks. One right when he came to town, one right after the preseason. So he has the majority of the guaranteed money already. The rest of it, he has to literally be here to get. He doesn't want to fucking come here. I think he's going to retire, and that will save us a lot of money, and it will be the best thing for us and the best thing for him. And I think he's on a emo tour that his last year's not working out the way he had hoped, and that he went. And I think that they're afraid of making him mad enough to then have spite and say, no, it's your fault because I didn't get wide receivers and I want to play somewhere else, and then fucking rake us over the coals because he has all the power in this contract that we gave him.
Do you really? You talk about this guy like one last year. I just like, is he gonna walk out on this? I don't think so. Going into
What are you
this,
talking about? Walk out on what? This team? This?
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
no, on a career.
he will.
on a
fucking-
career. The man, like, tell me that like these guys don't want to go out on top in some capacity. They certainly don't want to walk out on like 4-8 when like everything is going wrong and it's been the shittest goddamn year that they've experienced. You're telling me he's like, you know what? Perfect time to hang up the cleats and kind
No.
of fucking call it a night.
No, and I think that there were plenty of years that Brett Favre thought that if he won the Super Bowl, this is it, right? And they didn't win the Super Bowl at all. And it drove him to come back for another year. And I think that that's also a likelihood of what we're going to see next year. Maybe he'll actually try this offseason, do a little working
No, he
out.
won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. The man hates to practice. He hates, he hates his teammates. He hates actually going to the stadium. He hates having his job.
Classic time.
He hates
Classic
not
time.
fucking ripping balls in a fucking
Classic time.
volcano
Classic
fucking
time.
waterfall. Because that's that guy's life now. Once you've tripped balls in a fucking volcano waterfall, like you think you want to drive from Racine to fucking Oshkosh to fucking Green Bay again? I don't fucking think so. He
No.
fucking hates it. He fucking
I
doesn't
hate
have
driving up there myself. It's
And
not-
Terry
it's
doesn't
not
like
enjoyable
weather.
area.
No, he doesn't like anything. He wants to fucking sit down and fucking just blow his goddamn mind. He thought this would be his swan song, and that Aaron Andrews would pick up on the fact his signals that he's done this year, and that the whole NFL would make a huge deal about it, and we'd have some Fox Jingle Bells promotion about Aaron Rodgers' last game coming up. But it's not. Aaron Rodgers is fucking done with the Green Bay Packers, and I'm done with Aaron Rodgers. I love him. I think he's great. I couldn't help myself, but that was some horse shit. He's not coming back next year. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants with his $380 million, with his $380 million that we've given him over the year. And you know what he's going to do with it? He's going to buy the Bears, and then he's going to fucking bury them for the next 45 years. He's going to hand the Bears down to his grandkid.
Oh my God.
Who are going to sink
He
this
does.
team.
He does own a chunk of the Bucks, so
He-
he is tasting some winning right now.
He also owns the Bears.
It's about regression, boys. Regression is the fucking word of the day. And we've talked about this the entire season. Like a lot of players are pretty straightforward. We're like, hey, I'd cut them. You know, let's kind of like move on. Dean Lowry. Okay. So this guy, I don't know if it could get any more useless, in my opinion. But we decided to pay that guy relatively high. And just today, they actually reworked his contract where they want to keep this guy involved. And what I see him is a man who takes away snaps from DJ Slayton. TJ, who I think is actually a run stuffer, a young man who can just fucking move some mass. And I don't really understand that. I wanted to give a little insight. I was building up towards this. Okay. And all I do is I bring negative to the fucking, and I get it. And I get it. I get it. I don't like Joe Barry's scheme for this team and what they've constructed by any means, but I think we got through last year, and I'm wondering if Duty leaned into too much to like Joe Barry being like, we're all in, because we're all in this year, guys. As much as we want to like not admit it, we threw everything we could into the fucking middle of the table, and it's fucking burning up in front of us, like in an incredible way, But I don't blame anybody. If I had the chips, I would have made a lot of similar moves. It just hasn't panned out in the same way. Now, if you guys feel differently, I'd love to hear it. But in reality, go fuck yourself, because I know I'm right.
The fact that the whole defense hinged on Rasul Douglas, I'll gladly challenge that. I will. Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas were never supposed to be they're supposed to be awesome players. They weren't, but you know what?
Ty, they were signed for extensive, large money contracts in the offseason. What the fuck are you talking
Packers
about?
mistake. I'm telling you, the new formula is you got to find the guy the Uncle Ricos, man. I just want a team of Uncle Ricos who are just out there like, man, I'm tired of working graveyard shift at this Quick Trip fighting with these fat middle-aged white ladies over who's got to reshelve the milk. All I want to do is fucking play linebacker in the NFL. That guy. Can we get that guy on the team? He
I
needs
want that guy. I want that
fucking
guy.
I want that guy.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, this is devolved. We got a hashtag.
Specific guy. It's a very specific guy. Hey man, we're honest, Eric. We're telling the truth. We're not sitting here being like, "Oh, it's all great." We're not pulling ranks, you know.
I got a quick question for Eric. It's for real. What'd you think of being a guest on 2D to C? Was this like a terrible experience, or was it like halfway bad, or a little better?
No, I mean, it wasn't halfway bad. It was about 3/4 of the way bad, but I mean, it was, you know, no, you know, for the records for this season, you know, obviously the negativity on the Packers, you know, being 4-8, it is what it is, and so it's like it's going to be negative no matter what. Like I said, you know, what is this? The consolation bowl comes up Sunday at noon. Is what it is. It's the consolation bowl.
It's the battle of the backups, man.
Exactly. You know, but this is our Super Bowl, and who knows who's showing up to play on Sunday, but it's our Super Bowl this year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here at 2D, I want to say thank you if you've been watching. This is actually episode number 13. We have just started this podcast this year. There are so many guests we have to thank. We have to thank Buddy. We have to thank Creepy Eagles fan. We've got to thank Eric Bearsfan, my boss. Thank you so much. I have to thank, obviously, the dads of Two Dads and a Chess podcast, which is definitely going to be Mayhew, Tyson, and Ty, even though he is the third dad in Two Dads and a Chess pod. Please subscribe, listen, and remember, if we get to 1,000 subscribers, Tyson will literally do this podcast without a shirt in his garage when it's -8 degrees. So we like to end the podcast the same way we do every week. The hashtag will be, and I apologize, brother, but we're going to do a 3, 2, 1 hashtag. The Bears spread syphilis. 3, 2, 1. The Bears spread syphilis.
I like that one. Good time.
The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck. They really, 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 really suck.